How to hit diamond in Apex Legends. Now, judging by the player rank percentages of last season, a lot of people were stuck in gold and plat. I know diamond is a pretty hard mountain to climb, but it's not as hard as you think. Now, I made a video like this a couple weeks ago actually, and it did very well, but it was in a different format completely. It's one thing to give tips, and it's another thing to actually show you how to implement them into an actual game. This is where today's video actually comes in. Instead of me telling you the tips that you should be doing, why don't I show you? This is going to be a complete breakdown on the game that actually got me to diamond, a win with almost 3k damage and an absolutely insane end zone. So without further ado, let's get into this. I'm super excited to kind of get this style of video going with you guys. I know a lot of people learn in a whole bunch of different ways, so if this helps you, make sure to comment down below in the comment section, and I'll have a video like this coming whenever I hit Masters 2. Now, in terms of my rank this season, I'm actually halfway to Diamond 2, meaning that I'm doing a pretty good job in Diamond lobbies right now. Also means that you should expect a Masters video pretty shortly here, as long as my teammates don't sell me. Alright, so obviously landing is pretty important for this game. Pretty sure we went, yeah, we did in fact go crypto. Obviously, of course, when we're landing, we're of course looking around to see what other teams are around us. And as you can see, we have one team on us, so it isn't too bad. Now, in situations like this, we usually try to land separate sides. So right now we see that they're going to the back. Obviously, we're going to go to the front, and it's basically going to be a matter of gun skill and who gets the better shield at this point. Luckily here, though, I managed to get a volt right off the jump, and I don't really know what was going through the other team's mind. So I climb up here and I get a pretty nice beam on Loba, in the potato a little bit. And then my teammate actually got a knock here on Vantage as well. So right off the bat, we pretty much have 2 off the board and leading to free early game KP. Now, it's not always going to be this easy. I mean, if you're going to go for the early KP route, you really have to know the surroundings, because there's so many areas that you can get third party from. So right now, after we finish this gunfight, we literally instantly start looting, we start looking around, and we make sure that the third party isn't coming from anywhere. Even though we looked in the sky and we saw that no other team was landing with us, it's always better to be safe than sorry. So if anyone is curious this game why I actually went Loba, so last game I was put in a situation with my team where we just didn't have any type of ammo, so I decided to switch it up. And I personally recommend this for anybody who is going through a rough patch in ranked, meaning that in certain situations you wish you had a different legend. That next game I would go that legend. Now, this doesn't always work out, but sometimes it works out in your favor. For me, for example, Loba this game helped me tremendously. I was never really low on ammo. My team always had shields, we always had heals, so it worked out pretty good. And now what we did here is by scanning crypto room. Obviously, if you guys don't know, if you scan the crypto room, it gives you an idea where everyone is on the map. It's basically like an orbital VSAT from Call of Duty. So now we know there's one team in crypto, and then we obviously saw where the other teams were as well. So now we're going to try to push towards Caustic's treatment, and we're going to try to get that early KP. But we still haven't found the last member of the squad, that Loba. We never ended up killing her, so we're also on the hunt for her as well. Okay, so this part of the game is actually probably the most important part, because this is where we get most of our kills and most of our KP. So obviously inside this little cave next to market, it's pretty much a death trap. As soon as you start fighting in here, you're literally asking to get third partied. And we ran in here with the intentions of getting that KP just because there was already like 3 teams fighting in here, as you guys are going to see here in a second. But the most important thing to do here in these situations where there are a vast majority of teams is to honestly just stick together. We didn't push up too far. We stood back. I stayed with my charge rifle, try to get some quick little picks on some people that were, you know, hopefully 1 HP from all the fighting, which I actually end up doing here. Not there. That quick little 83 on him. But obviously put on my Loba in case we need heals. And then here's the guy who's literally 1 shot. Literally 3 HP. And then obviously Seer rolls up. Bob automatically. That's 2 extra KP for me. We have a whole different team fighting over here as well. Some quick little beams with the charge rifle. Right now I'm just trying to maneuver my body to where I just can't get shot from any other teams. Now I'm not exactly sure where everyone is, but obviously Vantage flies into my right to beam her, and I get aggressive on this kid because I know he's by himself and he's weak. So 24 health damage on him. I got that. And then here I go right back to work with my charge rifle. Now the idea here is to keep them at bay, not giving them a chance to push us while we're weak. Obviously Gibby and Rampart were a little low on health and shield, so it was kind of my job there to keep them off of her back. These kids were playing a little weird though. They're playing very passive, which I mean definitely makes sense. They were trying to hold us here in the back, but they actually ended up getting pulled up on by a whole different team behind them. But this is a great example because as you can see, before this gunfight I had what, 1 KP, and now I have 5. If you're able to play these super hectic third parties correctly, it's very rewarding. The only problem is that it's very hard to play it correctly. The position that you're in is probably the most important thing. Obviously we have zone 2 back, so no one was going to flank us, and obviously we have our headsets on, so we would hear it anyway. But we were probably in the best position possible to get the most out of this game. Every single time you're rotating, you have 2 choices: either to go, directly through, or to rotate either a long way to the left or a long way to the right. Now right here is an example of picking that choice and picking it correctly. Now I decided, well, I voted for us to go to the left. Gibby told us to go straight forward, and he said that because obviously they were crafting down there to the right. He wanted to get some more KP, which I was down for. I mean, I'm not scared to fight anyone as long as we're in the right position. So that was his call. But what I'm pointing this out for is that there's 2 choices for everything. You just have to make sure you make the right one. And of course, in making the right one, you have to consider the possibilities of it. You have to consider your positioning. Are you in a good spot to not get third party? Are you in a good spot to win that gunfight? Now, these kids ended up Valk ulting away from us. I would have absolutely beamed them if they stayed still. I got here a couple of quick shots with the charge rifle, but nothing crazy. And then they decided to get a little aggressive, but nothing ends up happening. Now we're almost creeping up on probably the most chaotic part of the games. We have 7 squads left. Now we came over here to the top of the hill because obviously we saw all these teams fighting, and I have a charge rifle, meaning easy shots for me as a kid just stands still. And of course I'm on controller, so the tracing's pretty much, yeah, it's really good. So yeah, I decided to take some quick shots here to see if I can get any type of KP. I don't think I got anything from here, but it's always good to try. And obviously you get to finish these knocks here at the bottom. Now again, we have a choice here. We can go straight forward or we can rotate to the right. Now I decided to rotate to the right because every single team and their stepdad was literally in the middle of the map there. So we end up rotating right, and this is probably the best call that we could have made here. And you'll see why once we get this position here at the end of the zone. So in rotating, obviously we ran into a little bit of trouble. Someone pushed them. Luckily they took care of that guy pretty quick. Don't know what he was thinking. Bloodhound tries to get a little aggressive here, and obviously Valk is sitting in the back with a bow. The bow smacks. Like, if you hit your shots with the bow, you can suppress teams like crazy. But we're not too worried about it. We're in a pretty good spot. The Rampart's cover is coming in super clutch here. And then I obviously have down my shop so we can get extra heals because I am running low on cells and bats. Looking through here, couldn't really find anything, so I'm gonna put down some cover fire. Now, I skipped ahead because it's just taking extremely long, but we ended up pushing Valk away, and we're getting now into the heat of things. And now we have a team on top of these little tubes right here. We have a team down below right, below them obviously. Get a quick little charge rifle beam here, and this is where Gibby makes the best call in the game. So Gibby, while we're trying to hold these kids and fight them off, tells us to rotate to the right, and this wins us the game. Now any type of rotation where it's out completely in the open would be a big no-no, but because we have Rampart, it ends up working out in our favor. So now, like I said earlier, now we're finally here at the spot. Now, the thing that you guys have to know about this is that we hear a rap behind us. Now, so there's a solo horizon behind us that ends up popping up here super late into the game after we kind of put in our shots at everybody else. But we're not worried because we know, for one, that rap behind us isn't going to get aggressive at all because she wants to get second place. And 2, even if she pulls up on us, we're going to shred her. So it doesn't matter. Our priority right now is these kids in the center, because the kids in the center are the only threat to us. Now, this setup with Rampart's shield it's honestly extremely good. This is probably the reason why I started playing Rampart, just because of this game right here in specific. Just the portable cover that you have makes it so much easier to win in ranked. I mean, Kings Canyon is literally such an open, airy map that there's not a lot of cover. So now here we're pretty much in a tight spot. So Gibby decided to throw his ultimate because Rampart actually fell down, so we no longer have that cover. So right now what we're trying to do is I'm honestly looking for any type of explosive, any type of nades, because this is going to help the situation. We have obviously the resin back there. I had a quick 99 on him, a crack, and I know they're extremely low. Now there's also kids to the truck to the right as well. So there's kids all around us. And then finally Horizon in the back is starting to make some noise. So she's getting a little anxious, chilling back there. So there she is. She's obviously going up. Gibby with a very, very clutch bubble so she can't focus us. And now we're just playing it very, very passive. So while they're all busy shooting, we're kind of just... I accidentally hopped onto the gun here. I don't know what I was doing. I didn't mean to do that. But Rampart down there, it establishes some type of ground. So I dropped down with her. And this pretty much is going to wrap up the game. So we're right here, waiting for them to get a little bit aggressive. There we go. Got a nice little crack. And now this is where I'm moving. Because at this point, everyone's low. And it's time to go crazy. I completely potato there, but it's okay because we get a laser. Bang. 3 KP there. So right now, 5 assists, 7 kills. Laser beam on the last kid. That's game. So again, very chaotic zone. But the reason we won that was solely because of the positioning. That's the only reason we won. That's going to be the end of the video. If you guys did enjoy this style of video, and if you guys want me to do more, and want me to do another one whenever I hit masters, please comment down below. I really appreciate any type of feedback. And I'm also going to leave the link to my Discord at the top of the description as well.